Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I'll be doing an updated tier list for Ark Survival Ascended. My last tier list, I felt like it was pretty solid, but after playing the game, this is my new tier list. So to start the tier list off, we have the Aloe. The Aloe, last time I'm pretty sure I put it in either C or D. I don't remember exactly where I put it, but it's definitely better than that. It has a bleed and there is a pack bonus when you have a bunch of them, which make it a little bit more deadly. And it's not bad early game, so I think B is good. The Anki's easy S tier, it gets flint, stone, metal. Then we have the Angler. The Angler, I actually put it in A tier last time. I'm switching it to S tier just because getting silica pearls by hand, very annoying when you can just grab an Angler and get a ton of them. So yeah, Angler made its way to S tier. This dino, oh my god, is this so useless. I forgot the name of it. It's something like Archaeoraptorix or something like that, but it's D tier. It's so useless. Alright, so hear me out. The RG, I put it in A tier last time, but it's S tier. I was wrong. This thing is a menace to society right now. Everyone has it. Everyone's using it for PvP. Everyone's using it for farming. It's just too good to not use. And for this next one, we have the Basilio. So the Basilio actually put it in A tier last time, so I'm bumping it up to S tier, mainly because how OP drops are right now. It's so good for running those underwater drop caves, like easy and hard underwater. Just too good right now. So we're gonna put this on S tier. Up next, we have the Baryonyx. Last time I put the Baryonyx on B tier, but I think this time around, I'm gonna bump him up to A tier. And the reason I'm bumping him up is because being that he can go in land and water, he could kind of run both drop caves, the land ones and the water ones. And with the stun lock, it makes him a powerful dinosaur. Up next, we have the Bees Buffalo. So the Bees Buffalo, I actually put it in C tier last time, but I'm definitely gonna bump it up this time around. Where I'm gonna put it, I don't know, but let me tell you why I want to bump it up. So the Bees Buffalo is a lot stronger than I initially thought because one, it gets a lot of cementing paste for you. Two, it's so good early game. Like I've been having people that pick me while I'm encumbered on my Beast Buffalo since it has more weight than a PT. Then I just bolo their PT, and then from there I knock out the rider with just like 1 or 2 licks. So I want to put it in S tier, but I think A tier is more suitable. So I'm gonna leave it in A. Bronto. The Bronto, I think it belongs in C tier, to be honest, because it's such a big target. It's slow. I know it gets berries and stuff like that and it can farm, but I don't really mess with the Bronto like that, so C tier it is. Kartra, easy S. Come on, bro. You know it's the best dino in the game right now, or one of the best. Super strong. Nothing else needs to be said about it. The Carno. So the Carno, I actually don't really like the Carno. It's not as good as the Aloe, so we can't put it in B with the Aloe. That's just disrespect to the Aloe. I think the Carno deserves C. The Compy's ass, so we're putting it in D. The Diplo. The Diplo, I know has a saddle that has multiple riders, so it's kind of like a school bus, but at the same time, I don't think its soaking potential is that great. I know it can soak, but it's weird. I just don't like the Diplo. I'm putting it in C because it's better than these two things for sure. Beaver, I would put it in S. The only thing that's stopping me from putting it in S is the hitbox. So like when you're trying to farm with an RG and you're holding the beaver, to bite those trees is very annoying. If it had like a tail slap, kind of how like the Anki has, and you can hit like multiple trees at once or something like that, or make it a lot easier to hit, I would definitely put this beaver S tier. But for now, since it doesn't have that, I'm putting it on A tier. The Daedon, I feel like it deserves a spot on A tier since it's currently the only way to really heal your dinos. So yeah, A. The Dillo, come on now, Dillo's butt does absolutely nothing. The Dimetrodon is another dino that I feel like it does not enough. I know it's like an AC and it's good for like keeping you warm and stuff like that, but why not just make ACs? It kind of kills the whole purpose of this dinosaur. So I'm gonna put this on D tier. The Galley, easy S tier, easy. It's like, I was just kidding, it's D. This thing is terrible. The Diplocalyst has actually started growing on me. At first, I didn't really like this dino, but now after using it, it gives you good oxygen, well, infinite oxygen really, and you can kind of use it to speed around underwater and grab those deep sea loot crates. So it has its uses. So I'm starting to think maybe B tier, A tier. B tier, B tier. The Dimorphodon. So the Dimorphodon, it's actually a shoulder mount, and shoulder mounts in this game reduce the weight of whatever it's in its inventory by 50%. So given that, I will be bumping a lot of these shoulder mounts higher than what they normally should be. But the Dimorphodon is pretty good as well, because like if you got a bunch of them and you stick them on players, they could be pretty deadly. This dino, man, I still don't see anybody using it. I know I've got told in the last video that it's so good, it throws shit at you or whatever, and it does a lot of damage, but I feel like it belongs in D tier. Still, I don't see anyone using them, and I personally just never used them, so D tier for me. For this next one, we have the Direwolf. So the Direwolf early game, they're pretty easy to tame, and if you have a bunch of them, they actually hit like a Mack truck. They do so much damage, and they can kill some of the stronger creatures. I feel like Direwolf is a little bit slept on, but maybe that's just me being biased because I kind of like them. I think they belong in B tier. The Dodo. So I think I actually put the Dodo a little higher than some of these other trash dinosaurs in my last video, but this time around I'm going to put it on the bottom of the barrel because it's not really fair that I've rated a little bit higher since you could strap C4 on it, but you could strap C4 on any dino, so D for Dodo. Up next, we got the Doedicurus. So the Doedicurus, I actually put it in A last time, and I feel like I'm going to keep it in A, and the reason for, the Anki's just a lot better than the Doedic. I feel like it's not on the same tier as the Doedic due to the Anki getting metal, stone, and flint, while the Doedicurus is only really limited to stone and obsidian, and obsidian is kind of one of those resources you don't really need, so A for Doedic. Alright, so we have the Dunkleosaurus. So the Dunkleosaurus is actually a lot better than it was before. I had it all the way on the bottom of my list. This time around, it's going to be higher than that. The reason for it is because on the island, it can be useful due to there being more resources in the water this time around. So I think I'm going to put the Dunkle in B. So up next, we have the Dung Beetle. The Dung Beetle got some pretty good buffs this time around. It can now pick up shit as well. Instead of you having to put the shit in its inventory, it'll pick it up passively. And if you have it on wandering, it'll also fertilize the shit, making it very useful considering that we're in a Plant X meta again. I think the Dung Beetle deserves a spot in probably A tier, but I think S tier is where it should be. Up next, we got the eel. The eel, I feel like is pretty butt. Due to no one really uses them, you can use them if you live in a pro cave, I guess, but like with there not being any dino leash right now, people just kite them out, so I think they're pretty bad. The Manta, I feel like the Manta's pretty butt. It could possibly be D, maybe C, but I think D's the proper place for it. The Capro Suckass. I'm just kidding. The Capro Suckish or Suckish, whatever. The Capro. So the Capro in PvE, they're pretty deadly. I ain't gonna lie. These things catch me lacking every time. But when you tame them, they're not that good, but they're okay. I think they're better than the Carno, so I'm gonna put it in B. The Equus, they're pretty rare on the island, kind of hard to find. They're pretty good for getting berries and knocking people out. Other than that, I think they belong to C. The Dire Bear. So the Dire Bear is kind of one of my favorite tames to use, but not on the island. On the island, I feel like it's terrible. It's a glass cannon. It can't even do its job and harvest honey because the honey is like too high up in the redwood trees. They need an ability to climb so that way I can rate them a little bit higher. But for now, since you can't climb and whatnot, I'm gonna put the Dire Bear on C. The Oviraptor. So the Oviraptor actually caught a buff as well. And now it picks up eggs for you. So you can essentially leave your dinos on mating and this thing is just gonna pick up all the eggs for you as long as it has enough weight. So with that being said, I'm gonna put the Oviraptor on A tier because I know I'm gonna be using it. Up next, we got the Pelagornis. So the Pelagornis, I kind of hate this dino. I know it's good for poly, it's just people always use it to mesh, so that's why I don't like it. But considering it's good for poly, I'm gonna have to give it a fair rating, so I'm gonna throw it at B. The Gigantopithecus, it's a cool tame. It's good for getting berries, and I mean, you can ride on its shoulder and it could throw you, so that's kind of cool. I personally don't use these too often, so I'm gonna put it in C. Hyaenodon, ass, that's easy. The Itchy, it's a good transportation dino and good dino to like run water drops and stuff like that. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it a C. The Carbonemi, easy S tier, one of the best soakers. It can fit in a lot of caves, so it's good. Cryos, it's good with no cryos. Solid S team. So the Penguin, I think it's, or the Kikaru, whatever it's called, I think it belongs in C tier, mainly because I know you can have them on breeding and have like an aggressive moss chop just farming poly for you. So that's why I think it belongs in C tier. Plus, I think it's better than all this crap right here anyways. Up next, we got the Iguanodon. So the Iguanodon, when it's on all fours, it actually has infinite stam, which is cool. It can get berries, and it can fight too. It's the ideal starter tame. And that's why I think the Iguanodon deserves a spot at B tier. So the Kentro, I feel like the Kentro does absolutely nothing. It's only good if you bite it with a Giga, but again, who's gonna sit there and bite a Kentro and get raged for free? So yeah, we're gonna put that in D tier. The Plezzy, I have trouble I always have trouble like placing the Plezzy because I kind of like the Plezzy, but at the same time I hate it. I think the Plezzy deserves probably C. Let me know what you guys think about that. The Mammoth, I think it's A tier. Pretty good wood getter. Also does other things too, like it has drums, like you can play the drums. Like, come on now, playing the drums is amazing, right? And then when net guns come out, you have the net immunity and stuff like that. The Megaloceros, so it's only really good at getting thatch, right? Wrong. Apparently, I've been seeing videos that you can go into the swamp cave and with the knockback attack it has, you can cheese and kill a bunch of things in there. But I don't think that's completely accurate because what the person I saw doing it had a 300 armor saddle, and to get that on the island and to get a high level one, it's not a reliable way to leveling up. So I don't think it's that good. I'm gonna put this in C. Meggy, I love the Meggy. It's one of my favorite tames in the game when it's in aberration and aberrant version and you're not always sleeping, considering that it's daytime more than it's nighttime on unofficial servers, and I'm pretty sure on official servers as well. Brings this, and this dino's rare to find too, so let's just put this dino in, like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like this dino's almost useless, but I can't put myself to put it in D tier with fucking Dillo and a Compy. So the Megalodon, A tier, has to be, right? Like the Megalodon, it's the Megalodon, bro. It has a bleed, a bite. It's one of the best water tames. Like, come on, water dinos has to be. So the Microraptor, it's cool in theory with like, I can stun you off your tame with the Microraptor, but let's be real, how often does that actually happen? How often do people use the Microraptor? Not very, but I am gonna put it in C tier due to its weight reduction it gets for being a shoulder pet with anything that goes in his inventory. So C tier. Coming up next, we got the PT. The PT, I actually rated it A last time, but I'm gonna switch that to S now. Just because in Ark Survival Ascended, I feel like there's not that many options for flyers like before, where you have the Maywing and the Mana and all this other stuff. Now it's just PT and RG, really. That's what conquers the skies. So the little monkey, oh man. I know you guys love this monkey and you guys keep telling me it's a lot better than what I keep placing it, but I just don't see it ever used. So I have to put it in C tier just because of the ability of the weight reduction. That's what's carrying it to C this time. If not, I'd probably put it D again. The shit that it throws is just too slow. It never hits. I don't know. Just somebody show me a video of it doing something. So the Apache, it's ass. Sorry, but it's ass. The Quetz, you're a cool kid if you have the Quetz. You need a Quetz. It's amazing. Like, it's the only way you're going to transport your dinos from point A to point B. Like, you want to walk a stego across the map? Hell no. You get a Quetz, fly that hole across the map. The Moss Chops. I know I disrespected the Moss Chops last time in my video, but this time around, I am going to put a little bit more respect on the Moss Chops. I think the Moss Chops is a B. And the reason I think it's a B is because early game is so good. Like, it's pretty good to harvest meat, poly, all that stuff early game, right? But then late game, I feel like it falls off a little bit, and there's just other better ways to do what it does. You know what I'm saying? The bee, it's probably the best way to get honey, reliably at least. So it has to be A tier. I don't see any other way around getting massive amounts of honey for veggie cakes and all. The tappy. So the tappy is a very good dino. It flies nice, has good, mobility in the air and stuff like that. I don't think it's as good as the PT or the RG when it comes to picking and stuff like that. But, well, maybe it is better than the PT when it comes to picking. But I think without the tech saddle, I don't think it's that good. So I think I'm going to go with B. The otter. The otter is one of my favorite dinos right now, I ain't gonna lie. Especially on the island, and I be building in the ice a lot of the time, or the snow area. It be cold as hell. So the otter with the reduced weight plus the making you warm, easy A tier for me. Like I said, anything that gives you that reduced weight, automatic up. The Titan. So the Titan's really strong when it comes to soaking and stuff like that. It's a bitch to tame. So I barely ever tame them. I know they can destroy meadow and all this extra stuff with the stomp. So I'm going to put it in B tier. Just because, like I said, the taming process is a little bit annoying. And on top of that, it dies after a couple hours of you having it. Or a full day, I don't remember. The Racer, we put S tier. Because platform saddle, very good. Soaking, very good. Fairly easy to tame. Good dino. This is ass. The Pachyrhinosaurus, garbage. The Parasaur, best snitch in the game. We gotta put it in A tier. It gets berries and it snitches. Like, come on now. The Phiomia, I should put it hand in hand with the Dunk Beetle, but I really don't want to because the only thing the Phiomia offers is shit. And on top of that, this thing is ugly. So I'm just gonna put it on B tier. Hold up. Yeah, B tier. There you go. Okay, the Willy Rhino. The Willy Rhino. You know the Willy Rhino go crazy, man. Like, come on. Gotta be there. Kangaroo. We're gonna put the Kangaroo on A tier this time around. Just because it's one of the best things to do the boss. Like, it has uses. Like, people use it to do Alpha Brood by jumping on a little mushroom, shooting their shotties and stuff like that. I feel like it's solid. Solid. Raptor. So the Raptor, hear me out. Raptor's basically the Uber of Ark. Like, yeah, this is Uber, basically. This is like the Uber of Ark. I basically tame these early game just to get around a little bit more safely and faster. They're so easy to tame too. But besides that, I don't think they're that good. But I will put them in... yeah, I would put them in C. Like, C's fine. Lystro or Listro, whatever you want to call it, as the Pelovia, pretty good for hiding your loot, and it digs on the ground and it has a little stun. So I am gonna put that in B. The Pegomastic. The Pegomastic's just kind of garbage. Like, it can steal stuff, but I don't see people using it. This is probably the worst dino in the game. It has absolutely nothing that it can do. They need to fix that, make it better somehow. I don't know. But just make it better. The Rex, I'm gonna put in A tier. Everybody knows Rex goes crazy with the tech saddle and stuff like that, but the Rex, I'm put it A just because I feel like, you know what, maybe S. I don't know. That's tough. Put S tier. Saber is one of the best dinos to go through caves and stuff like that, so, but it's not that good. Like, I think there's better options. I think Saber's a little solid. We'll put it there. The Megatherium. The Megatherium, you need it for Broodmother, or you can use it for Broodmother. And when it gets the bug buff, it's actually a little bit nutty. So I am gonna put these on A tier. The Sarco, I feel like the Sarco's garbage. Doesn't really do much. Doesn't have enough to its kit, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. Rhinoganatha has to be S tier. It's one of the best dinos in the game. Also can pick up Stegos and whatnot and Rexes and carry them across the map. Just too good. Then we got the Mosasaur. The Mosasaur, it's the underwater Giga, but ass, because no one wants to tame it, and it just, like, why have a Mosasaur when you can have Tuso? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like B's fair, but Derry's S tier. Fits in. Derry's S tier, like, come on now. Everybody knows Derry goes crazy. Terra Bird is Terra shit. Don't like it. Garbage. Spinal's another S tier dino. Once it has the water buff, you're not getting away from this thing. And if you're in the water already, you're not getting away. If you're on land, you're not getting away. Like, there's no escaping this. The Giga, S tier. It's like the strongest dino in the game, or one of the strongest in the game. Bites mad hard. It's just been one of the best since the beginning of times. So we have the Stego, arguably the best soaker in the game. So we're gonna put that up there. It's easy. The Trudon, just because of the way you have to tame it, it's just so bad. It takes too long to tame. So I'm gonna throw the Trudon down there. Like, sacrificing your dinos, like, I don't know. Titan Bull is another one that's ass to tame, that has no use. I feel like it's a garbage tame. I don't know what people do with it. Trikes, A or S maybe? So the Trike's a little bit more situational when it comes to soaking. You can't really soak anything with a Trike like you could with a Stego, but the Trike does have that Trike rush where you could kind of break Jennies through walls and stuff like that. I don't know if that's still in the game though, but you know what, Trike's S tier. Ovis, we're gonna put A tier just because Ovis, you know, you get mad hide, you get mad mutton and stuff like that. If just pretty good if you have it. Tuso. So I put the Tuso in A tier last time, and boy was I right. No one's taming it, and the people that do tame it can only really threaten you when you're in the water, and 9 times out of 10 you're not going to be in the water. So we're going to leave that A tier. Thylaco, man, I think I gotta put it S tier because it's probably one of the best ways to get to level 100 now. If you don't know how to get to level 100 with the Thylos, stay tuned because I'll put a video out on how to do it. The Udiranus. So the Udi, I feel like the Udi belongs in S tier because, one, it's the best way to, like, it just makes your dinos way more tanky and stuff like that. So it's like the best for soaking, blah 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 blah, and yeah. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you guys want me to make any specific kind of content, just let me know. I'm always open to ideas. See you in the next one, guys.